FPP 229.
229. 229. 229. 229. 229. 229. 229. Number 229. Who's next? Number 229. Yeah, can I have half a pound of bologna and
Order up.
3/4 of a pound of the white American cheese, not the yellow, please?
This is the Film Photography Podcast. My name is Michael Raso. This is a special summer bonus episode.
Summertime.
We're all in our bathing suits right now.
I'm here with John Fedele.
John Fedele.
John
Fedele.
told that story, John. Is it still going on or it died down?
It died down.
I'm going to keep it going.
Okay, go ahead. John.
You told the story
John
last
Fedele.
time.
You tell it.
And Mark Dalzell. Hey, how's it going?
Oh, that guy.
Oh, hey.
And Mark
And my name is Michael
Dark
Raso.
Dalzell.
And this is the Film Photography Project Podcast, as some people call it.
I didn't mean to hijack the introductions. I just thought that would be a funny interjection.
Hilarious.
The reason we're here today is because I wanted to see these guys. I wanted to see Mark. Haven't seen you in such a long time.
Yeah.
It's nice to see your face.
Yeah, sure it is. Nice to see you too, Mike.
Thank you. And today, the exciting news is the FPP is releasing a new line of 8mm film. Brand new. What is it, John?
This is a black and white reversal.
Tell us what we
50
won.
ISO. 8.8 on daylight spool.
8.8.
25 feet. 2 times 25, which is 46. 50 feet.
No, you just glossed. I didn't even know what you were doing. 8.8 film?
It's
That's
double
really
8.
cool.
It's 16 millimeter, double perfed,
This
right?
is not
But
a bit.
special
I didn't
double
realize you were
perfed.
releasing 8.8 film.
This is from the laboratory of the FPP, right?
That's correct. And thank you, John. John's doing a very good job of explaining what regular. It's called. People call it regular 8. People call it 8mm. People call it 8.8.
They call it millimeter.
The guy from Ipioca Maracuja calls it millimeter.
Yeah.
Remember the commercial I shot?
Millimeter. Are you shooting in millimeter?
He bragged to his friends like it's
Shot in millimeter.
that was a big thing for local cable.
As opposed to what?
If you're watching a sports
Quarter
show,
inches?
if you're watching a sports show at home, and all of a sudden you see like a little glitch, and then like local commercial comes on.
Yeah.
Usually a car dealership,
Yeah.
and usually the quality goes down like 100%.
Because it's shot on camcorder.
Right, they're shot on
3/4
digital,
inch.
and back in the day they were shot
Oh,
on
I see.
video.
So you're shooting with film. I
So
got you.
the
Shooting on millimeter, Mark.
Come on down to Crazy Mike's 8.8.
The Ipioca Maracuja, which is a Brazilian rum. The owner
right. I remember.
brought the Miss Brazil,
See.
and he wanted it shot on film. So my boss at the time at Comcast, Gary Shin, I was Mr. Bolex. I went down with my Bolex
Unbelievable.
to the guy's house. He had this beautiful pool, Ipioca, Y-O-P-I-C-A,
That spells Yapaka.
And what's the next word?
Maracuja.
Okay. Never heard of that.
Can you just say it into your phone?
Ipioca Maracuja.
Brazilian rum.
What was the point of that?
first search?
So I searched it recently.
Hello, computer.
It said nothing back.
I searched it recently,
Yeah.
and it still exists.
Thanks to Millimeter. They're probably still using the same commercial.
Exactly.
Now it's
Yeah, they
retro.
probably are.
Retro cool.
It is, right?
I just found the original
You
camera
did not.
negative.
No
Yes,
Oh,
way.
my God.
Yes.
Cool.
You should 4K scan it.
I did.
Oh, my God.
So now I'm going to find
Nice.
the old commercial on shitty video,
And dub the audio.
and then lay in the new beautiful 4K.
Oh, my God. That'll be amazing.
I'm sure that whoever's running Ipioca Maracuja today is going to be like, "Oh my God, we have a new commercial!"
Their archival department will be thrilled.
Oh my goodness.
So, anyways,
So anyhow, we digress.
so new on millimeter.
What was the point of that? Oh, Millimeter. Got it.
This is
Go.
8mm.
And now
So
back
this
to
is
our
double
program.
A. So you have the 50 ISO black and white.
Yes, it's
You've got-
reversal.
Oh, reversal.
Reversal.
Oh, yes.
That means that it comes back as a positive.
Right.
So
you have to
can
run it through the camera
project it.
backwards.
You can project it on your neighbor's house. Color negative 50 ISO and color negative 500. Oh my God!
500?
This is the reality.
that is the reality of it, John.
We talked about this.
The reality
But now
of
it's
it
in my
is,
hands.
let me really, I know people at
500
home,
ISO. How is that even possible?
these cameras, I'm holding one in my hand. Like, really, this is the size of your cell phone, but a little thicker. Well, a lot thicker.
Yeah.
It's like the size. Imagine
And like
5
15
cell phones
pounds
stacked on
stacked.
top of each other.
And 15 pounds heavier.
Yeah, so the the 8 millimeter, the regular 8, this is before Super 8. This is like 1930 something through 1965. The cameras were so small that if you put this in your fanny, you could put this in your fanny pack, John.
Yes, I could.
Or you could put this in your purse.
Yes, my man purse.
Yes. Or Leslie could put this in her purse.
Yep.
Go to the county fair. I'm going to review the Revere 8 Model 80. One of my quick, fast reviews. If you're loading this camera with regular 8 500T, you could essentially hit the streets at night.
That's great.
Or if you're having like a family function in a house with like, regular illumination, you need a light meter, handheld light meter.
Use those handheld stars that you normally use on the top of these cameras.
But with the 500 tungsten, we've been talking about light panels, using a light panel with this film.
Yeah.
You could shoot natural light. Or I read on a post on a forum somewhere that some young people in Europe, they're going to raves with these cameras.
Oh, really?
Can you imagine?
That would be cool.
That would be remarkable.
Yeah.
So,
I was thinking like Christmas morning. Imagine like how nice that would be with Christmas tree in the background, some nice 8 millimeter. That'd be beautiful.
You have to turn on all the lights, though.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
But
What was the film back in the day when my dad had to use 10,000 watts of power to blind us?
Well,
to get an
that's the
image?
thing. Back in the day, the
Was it
ISOs
50?
were so low.
It was 50 or 40?
No, it was 40.
Yeah.
But most likely it was 25.
Oh, my.
But it could have been 10.
That's ridiculous.
I mean, we have them here. Mark has them. It's the classic Kodak light bar that holds 4 massive bulbs that are, those are bright.
Yeah, they're brown.
3
They're
or
like-
500 watts each, and there's
Yeah,
4 of
they're
them, so you're getting
500
1,200 watts
watts.
of
Yeah.
light.
If not more.
Like a bright home lamp is 100.
Yeah.
So we're firing 1,200 watts. And those bulbs are only designed to last 4 or 5 hours.
You could
So you
feel
turn
the
them on
heat.
for a minute or two, then you turn them off when you're not using them.
You could feel the heat from 10 feet away.
Yeah, it's crazy.
It's like the sun.
You have to warn the room. All right, everyone, clear. Look away.
That's why everybody's always blinking and squinting in the videos.
Yeah, exactly. And
In the
waving
movies,
fast
rather.
and then running away.
Yep.
The good news of the day is I'm recording.
Are you?
Good.
Number one.
Are you
Number-
getting this?
Number
Hello,
two,
hello, hello.
Mark has a microphone that's actually hooked up.
And gold plated.
Yes, his mic is back.
Yeah.
The mics are matched again.
Yeah.
And that's very good.
So when's this 500 coming out?
Right now, the 50 daylight, that's 50 daylight color negative is available. Mm-hmm. The 50 black and white reversal is available. Mm-hmm. Never in a million years would I imagine, here, 10 years in, that there's something still new and exciting to talk about.
Yeah. Although the 8 millimeter is starting to become the impossible project all over again.
That's not the impossible project, yes. And number two, that in a million years, I never would have ever, because this camera,
Yeah.
oh, this is your camera. This is my camera. This camera's been sitting on the shelf for 10 years.
Yeah.
It's been sitting up there.
You never used it.
I always look at it. I'm holding in my hand a Revere 8 Model 88. It's a regular 8 camera. I just look at it. I move it from shelf to shelf. Just, it really took on the role of, quote-unquote, shelf.
Does it take double 8?
Yeah.
So they called it the 88 because it's an 8.8.
Look at that. Shelf queen.
So smart, Mark.
Tricky. It's like
Yeah,
the
the
Yashica
shelf
44.
queen.
Never in a million years will I think that my brain would be sparked with imagination. Over this,
Over that thing.
never.
That aluminum meatball.
Never.
Just goes to show you, don't throw stuff out because you never know.
And I think it was the nudging of that Owen McCafferty.
Yep.
That guy.
He's the new guy.
Yeah.
Where is he?
He's in Cleveland, Ohio.
Okay.
He was telling me about it, and I would ask questions. Well, what do you mean? What is it? And I show him some camera. I'm like, well, I don't get it. Like, where do I get film for this?
Yeah.
Oh, FOMA makes film for this. Really? How do I get it?
And now look at you.
Crazed.
Now you're a fiend.
Now you're like the world supply.
Crazy.
Who else is making double 8?
FOMA.
That's it. I mean, like you can't get it anywhere.
So the mission here, the project, is to get these films out. Get these films out in an economical, at a price that, people...
At a price point that people can afford. Well, that's exciting.
It is. I'm going to quickly review a camera, a regular 8 camera, and I have a few letters I'm going to open with.
Talk about it.
This is from Richard Fletcher.
Hey, you have any Fukatsu left?
It's going fast.
Ooh,
Wow.
okay, I got to get some.
Flying out of here.
Just made me
All
think of it when you're always introducing new things.
Wait a minute. You telling me you don't have your own stash in your own personal fridge of
I
fukatsu?
do have some
Of course you do.
from 2012.
Oh.
It's been in the freezer.
Hey, Mike, this is from Richard Fletcher. Hey, Mike, just listen to the bonus podcast. That's the one we did.
Bonus.
Beyond excited about the R&D into new films. That's research and development.
Thank you.
Oh.
You guys are so committed to there's all these keywords, Mark Dalzell. Seriously, honestly. I mean, I do what I do, and I've been doing what I do for a long time. I just do what I do.
Okay.
I never knew this word. Yeah, when we were at Paideia.
What word?
Committed.
No, influencer. Like what?
Oh,
Like,
you're an influencer?
Stop it.
Oh, yeah.
Stop
You're
it.
the
Yeah.
unknown influencer.
And then there's like R&D, research and development.
Mike is literally wearing his Paideia award as a belt buckle right now.
Yeah, aren't you?
People don't think that. Most people think you're joking about the major award.
Do they?
Where's my
Don't
major
you-
award?
Where is your major award? It's a
Right.
major
He
award.
reaches for his crotch. Where's my major award? I got it right here.
Oh.
I got your major award.
Oh, my.
I don't know what your major award is.
Beyond excited about the R&D into new films, you guys are so committed to bringing the opportunity to shoot film to us in an affordable way. Yes,
That's the key.
it's just brilliant. How cool is that Lomo is also working on a brand new emulsion. Film is gathering momentum in its revival. On another note,
What's the name of that new film? Metropolis.
Metropolis Music.
We
It's called
talked.
Metropolis.
Are you suing
They
them?
took my name.
Are you going to
suing
change your store name to Lomo Metropolis? Lomo
Well, no,
Chrome?
it's like musical chairs, so now I have to change my name to Impossible.
Today, did people like raid your store today looking for this Lomo Chrome Metropolis film? People
Yeah.
come in asking.
There'll be a line tomorrow when I get there.
They want the 110.
Oh, jeez, probably.
They just got back from Berlin looking for the last batch.
On another note, my Filmo 70DR arrived this weekend.
The what?
Filmo. Now, a Filmo is a Bell and Howell camera that was used in war, like military camera.
Which war?
As
Two?
opposed to a non-military war.
WW2.
WW2, the big one.
Yeah, I always thought that in WW2 they were using IMOs, which is the 35 millimeter version. I don't know. If anyone out there has any military experience with cameras, WW2, Korea, Vietnam, Filmo? Or IMO? IMO's 35, Filmo 16. This is the Filmo 70DR. He just got it. Going to do some basic tests and oil it where needed. Then I'm going to buy some expired film stock from you guys and get sucked in.
Yeah, do it. Do it.
True.
You will get sucked in.
So I was at Pat Marucci's studio.
Paparucci.
Pat is the director of the Uncle Floyd Show.
Oh, I
From
thought that
back
was the
in the
Karate
day.
Kid guy.
No, you know Uncle Floyd Show.
I know.
I know
Floyd.
Uncle Floyd.
Oh, you do?
He still has.
I've heard of it.
In that studio, along the wall, he has some of the master tapes for some of the shows.
How do you know this?
Last time I was there shooting Brevengers with Zach.
Oh,
I'm like,
that's
look,
right.
it says master, show. I'm like, he's just have them sitting out here.
True that. I was there this past weekend.
Yeah.
I'm getting ready to shoot a music video
Yes.
on film, 16.
Millimeters?
Yeah.
Yes. And it calls for
Inches.
it calls for the band to perform in front of a green screen so that the back can be keyed out.
I understand what a green screen is.
Okay, good. Most people these days know, right?
Everybody knows.
Yeah,
My
you-
daughter
you-
is like,
Yeah.
Really?
she wants to set up a green screen in her toy room so we can shoot.
Back in the day, when
TikTok
John was
videos.
making a movie in the 90s, what? You had to get...
It used to be a blue screen. I'm so old, we used
Yeah,
blue
blue
screens.
screen.
Yeah, it was blue. You had to get a software program that cost like $1,000,
Yep.
and then the dongle had to be in the back of the computer for it to work.
Dongle.
Now you just...
And the way you had to light it, it had to be meticulously lighted. It couldn't be off within
Yeah.
a half a stop.
Yeah,
Like the hottest spot couldn't be more than a half a stop hotter than the rest of it. Otherwise, it wouldn't key.
Film Photography Tube is our YouTube channel. Please give us a subscribe
Hey.
because I'm going to do a video about the Filmo.
Oh, okay.
You want to read a
I want to
letter?
read a letter so we can open that box.
Okay. Great.
So this is from Sherry Christensen,
Yes.
our good friend Sherry.
Yes.
What was that song?
Sherry Christensen.
Don't
yeah.
don't sing it too well, or else YouTube will
Oh, my God.
chop us down. Chop us down. But it goes like this.
Bastards.
Oh, it's a Four Seasons song.
Yeah.
Frankie Valli and the Four
Valley.
Seasons, right up the road, Newark, New Jersey.
Tell me about it.
How do you
Stan's
know?
Records. Journal Square, Jersey City, man.
Yeah.
Frankie used to go in there.
Yeah. That's where doo-wop started, Stan's Records.
Wow.
Okay, go.
All right, Sherry Christensen. Hey, gang, just wanted to send a quick note saying thank you for putting on such a great podcast. The knowledge I have gained listening to each episode has been super valuable. In fact, I've heard every episode twice. Wow.
That's a lot of episodes.
That's a lot of listening. Wow, Sherry. You never know what little nugget of information is going to come in handy. For example, the camera reviews have been responsible for adding to my collection, like the Pentax MV. I knew it was worth every penny I spent on it, all 500 of them.
500 pennies? Wow.
Or Leslie talking about marbles in her chemistry bottles when the time came and I needed to develop my own film. I bought marbles. Remember that?
I remember that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's good
to fill up
advice.
the air.
Yeah.
That was a cool idea.
Yeah. Well, see, there you go. Those are little nuggets. Sherry's all over that. I look forward to every shoe. What shoe? And keep them coming. By the way, do you need any Canadian candy? Sherry. We always need candy.
And when did this letter come in?
This letter came in May 17th.
2019, this year?
Yes.
All right.
Go figure.
Same year.
What was that noise?
Mail's in.
Oh, a package has arrived.
Oh, what could it be?
Oh,
It's from Sherry Christensen.
That's right.
Camera box.
Holy crap.
What does the customs declaration say? Wait, what did the customs
There's a
declaration
little.
say?
There's a little.
What
note
did she say it was?
Told the truth.
Gift cadeau.
There's some pictures.
Ooh, it's a gift cadeau.
Wow, these are pretty cool. Look at those. Look at the colors.
Look at the size of it.
It says, "Hey, Filmtastic FPP gang, it has been a while since I have sent you some treats. So here are a big box of crumbs." Just kidding. Coffee Crisp, Fruit Nut, Crunchetti should not be too crummy. Sorry, it's handwritten, so I'm fumbling here.
Fruit nut. I haven't had a fruit nut in
All
30
kidding
years.
aside, just wanted to say keep up the podcast. It never fails to educate and entertain. I look forward to each new episode. Enjoy the treats. P.S. Have you heard of the Frugal Film Project?
I remember the Frugal Gourmet.
Oh, Coffee Crisps. We love those. Fruit Nut. Ooh, wow.
That is perhaps the best candy bar on the
Really?
planet.
Fruit nut?
Yeah.
How do you even know about that?
Because there were two
Who
in
told
there.
you about that?
There were two in there. Now it's
Learned it
one.
by eating.
Now, the problem with that is that you have to be careful with shards. No, I'm
That's
serious.
the new crumbs. Shards is the new crumbs.
It creates shards. And right now, there's no mice.
Oh.
There's no other, like, chinchadiaguas or anything like
I
that.
can take care of that.
But there are millipedes.
Oh, God. And everyone knows that millipedes love chocolate with peanuts and almonds in
They're
them.
millimeters, the millipedes.
Now, the Frugal
Almonds and
Project.
raisins.
Now, I've seen some links on Facebook for Frugal Project, Sherry. And I'm going to go check it out.
Check it out.
Yeah.
For your health.
Oh, how is that, John? That looks delicious.
It's Coffee Crisp. It's the best chocolate bar ever.
Very, very satisfying. Very, very
Snickers. You're saying Snickers right now.
Sherry, thank you very much.
Sherry, do you remember that commercial from like the early 90s with the two old ladies talking about Coffee Crisp? How you're liking your coffee. I'm liking my coffee crisp. She'll remember.
So, how do you like your coffee? Crisp. You like your coffee crisp. I like my coffee crisp. Oh, I'm supposed to laugh now. You don't know from jokes. You never did. Well, excuse me for leaving. Ah, face it, dear. You're no Jane Rivers. Well, it's your opinion.
Coffee Crisp makes a nice, light snack.
So?
Thanks, Sherry.
This is from Amro Gabriel. Do you know Amro? We've talked about him before.
That sounds familiar.
Lives in the UK.
Oh, the guy in the UK, yeah.
Now, the other show we did,
What show?
we talked about like lack of inspiration. Are you drinking his water?
It was my water. He's been drinking my water. It's not water.
Amro said, I felt rather guilty because I hadn't been inspired to pick up a camera for a year or more. And I think what sparked this is we were talking about Darren.
I was just talking to Darren yesterday, actually.
Where? On a FaceTime?
Facebook.
And Darren put down his music and his photography to draw. Mm-hmm. So he switched inspiration to something totally different.
And to bash hamburgers.
Yes.
Just been to Five Guys. You ever been? What the fuck?
Amro says, "Oh, you have to be. Why don't you do the shard over a letter? Yeah, over this.
Over a letter.
You're going to see the shards.
Wait till you see
Hey,
the
man.
shards.
Millipedes are just going to start attacking you.
I'm Canadian. Don't even talk to me about Cadbury. You don't even know. You weren't there.
Amro, I'd broken my arm and had a cast catastrophic deterioration in my vision. He lost his creative spark.
Of course.
I've slowly been feeling better, and it was nice to catch up with the episodes. I'm glad to hear Darren is back taking photos. I am on Twitter and used to chat with him regularly at the time.
So many shards.
You see the shards? Look at it. No, serious. See, I don't make this stuff up. Seriously, folks, I do not make this stuff up. Like the other Cadbury, I opened
joking.
it.
It's just
How you get rid of shards?
No, please don't. No, please. John's going to take an
brush them onto the floor.
John's going to take an air gun and blow shards every crack in the floor. Tomorrow, I'd come in and it'd be millipedes everywhere.
Anyways, this is serious.
It is. Amro. Well, it's serious, but it's serious, and I'm very thrilled that Amro is feeling better. That he didn't suffer anything,
Yes.
life-threatening or
Glad we could be part of your recovery and
Yes.
inspiration.
Yes, thank
And
you.
Amro, thank you. You're all the way in the
Definitely.
UK, and you support the FPP online store. It's greatly appreciated.
And welcome back.
You want to do a letter?
Oh, sure.
Why can't
wait,
you just
wait,
do it
wait,
like this?
wait.
Look, you do it in here, so the shards stay
Supposed to
inside.
keep a piece of paper under it as
Put a letter
protection.
under it, John. You got to use protection when you're eating Cadbury.
Oh,
Can I have a slab?
you're right. Some shards got past me.
It's a shard.
Some shards got past me. Oh my
It's
god!
like it's like they jump out of the pack. Like how?
They're alive.
Oh, this is delicious, Sherry.
Oh, the raisins in there.
The raisins are the thing.
Yeah.
How often do you get raisins in chocolate?
Oh, my God.
Raisinets?
Beautiful.
Remember in wacky packages they were called Reaganettes, and they looked like little tiny Ronald Reagans.
All right, what do you
Just
got,
his
Mark?
neck. Or the
Anyway,
whole Reagan?
no, it was like a little wrinkly Ronald Reagan head with a raisin inside, made out of chocolate. Come on, wacky packages.
I remember wacky packages.
Kevin knows what I'm talking about.
Yeah, he does.
This letter is entitled Super 8 Developing from Jeff Harrison. Yes! Hey, Mike. I've listened to the show since around episode 20.
Oh my God.
Love the show. I'm a commercial photographer and videographer down in Mississippi. Thanks to your show, I've become an avid film shooter for anything that's not work. I've got around 50 cameras, bad gas, once upon a time. I bought my house from my grandparents about 12 years ago, and I'm finally finishing going through closets.
Wow.
Wow, that's a lot of closets.
Yeah.
Last night, after 12 years, I found what seems to be a fully working Elmo 312XL Super 8.
You know that guy?
Elmo.
Along with an AE1, a Sears Ricoh TLS, a Revere 8mm.
8.
So Revere 8, that's not the Revere 88, though. That's the Revere 8.
Well, these are
They're
Revere.
all Revere 8s. They didn't have a model next to it.
The 88.
So he left out what model number.
A Revere 8.
This is Revere 8. This is Revere 8.
Okay.
But different model numbers.
All right. Sorry, Jeff. We don't know what you got.
What model number do you
A
have?
Revere 8mm camera and a Kodak Autograph 3A. That's cool. 3A. That's like 118.
You see, everything he found, it pleases everyone. Like, I'm thrilled, like, on the 8, you're thrilled about the autograph.
Exactly. And finally, to my reason for writing you today.
Yeah.
The Elmo. For Elmo.
Where's fruit flies coming from?
The millipedes. That's the Millipedes Air Force. It's the scouting party.
The other day, we got shards. A millipede was
Going
like,
into
walking
millipedes.
across the floor. They're slow.
You'd think they'd be fast with 1,000 legs.
I'm like, Justin, is this a scout?
You having fun?
He's like, no, Mike.
No.
They don't. They're not organized.
Sniper.
No.
He said
They
they're
don't.
not.
They don't have a hive mind.
No, they don't.
Huh.
He said he's like he doesn't know what he's doing.
Come on.
He said.
He doesn't know nothing.
It's just a rogue millipede just wandering
This is
around.
a nice group of cameras. It's an array.
Makes a nice group of cameras.
And finally, to the reason for me writing you today, the Elmo is
Gonna get
loaded.
flagged.
It's so good. The Elmo is loaded with E160. I suspect the cartridge has been loaded for 30 years.
Oh
I'm
my
thinking
gosh.
I'll shoot the remainder of that film before getting it
Yeah.
processed and scanned. I do realize it's doubtful that I'll get anything usable from 30-year-old slide film.
I don't know.
I don't see that listed on FPP as a film you're processing. How would you suggest I proceed? Cheers, mate. Jeff Harrison.
This is the Super 8 he's talking about. The Ektachrome 160.
He didn't say. It just says E160, so I don't know.
I'm thinking he's talking about the Super 8, and this is the very same film that we shot at the FPP. Remember our Pizza Friday?
Oh, yeah. Oh, the Elmo. Yeah, sorry. The Elmo Super 8. Yes, Super 8.
The processing is defunct. Labs will not process it. The old 1980s Ektachrome 160?
Yeah.
It's Type A or Type G. They had a remjet on them.
Oh.
It's just E6.
Remjet.
So modern labs do not use that process.
So you got to buy yourself a Lomo tank and do it at home.
Modern E100D, modern Ektachrome Super 8 has no remjet, so it's a different process now.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to do it yourself or send it to a lab, but the lab's going to charge you like $80, and it takes them 6 months.
Yeah, but it's
Yeah, but
30
the
years
alternative is
old.
you spend $300 on a Romo tank. What's he going to do?
It's going to send it to us.
What's a Jeff to
Why,
do?
you're going to do it?
Yes.
All right,
Whoa.
send it in, bro.
Owen McCafferty will process it here.
Send it to us, and we'll give it to Owen.
That's right. No, for real.
All right, there
All
you
right,
go.
That's awesome.
So I published a blog. I wrote a blog specifically about this because people are finding this film cheap on eBay and shooting it. I'm like,
But then they can't process it.
no, they have no idea.
There's
they
a
can't-
reason it's cheap on eBay.
I didn't know you can't process this. I shot that roll, sent it to Dwayne's photo for processing.
He said
they
no.
sent my check and the film back
Wow.
saying, no, this
No
is...
go.
Then I had to do some research,
With a note that said, nice try.
and I found Spectra Lab on the West Coast that will process it, but it'll take them 6 months, and it was
Why?
like 80... Because they have to do it by hand.
Takes them 6 months.
It's probably a guy in a basement, and he's got 30 other rolls to do. Like,
Yeah.
I get it.
Hey, just-
Yeah, it's not in their workflow. So I'm trying to let everyone know it's just not worth shooting. Unless you want to just test your camera
Unless
with
you
it.
buy a Romo tank.
Yeah.
This flying saucer-looking ones.
all right.
What are those going for now? I haven't even looked them up in a long
Lomo
time.
tank?
Yeah, what are they?
$5.
$200 to $300.
Oh, that's what they always been.
Yeah.
I'm surprised they haven't gone up yet. They're going to go up.
Oh, you think this is going to start?
The 8 millimeter's getting bigger and bigger, and those tanks are getting, they're not making any since the 80s. So
It seems like a guy in Ukraine, the seller on eBay, must have like new old stock.
yeah, it does. But he's
Yeah.
eventually going to run out.
And this is the one guy. He sells everything Ukrainian. It's the same.
I know all the Fed cameras and all the Zorkies
It's
and
the
all
same
that.
guy, you think?
Yeah, it's all from the same guy.
I got a question for you.
Yes.
This is from
You want to
Jim.
access something?
I'm going to ask you a question. It's from Jim Schulman. He says, hey, love Owen McCafferty's recent pieces on movie making. He recently mentioned a very common problem for any owner of the early 60s, mid-70s Kodak movie camera.
Yes.
A particular nylon gear that disintegrates faster than the Wicked Witch of the West.
Whoa.
Is there any chance that the
Burn.
FFP could print a replacement gear?
FFP?
I have an electric... Yeah, that's FFP.
You know what it is.
I know.
What? What's
FPP. He put FFP, but it's FPP.
What is FFP?
Nobody knows.
Film photography
The
project.
film project.
I have an electric 8 camera that I'd love to use. Sadly, it runs, but it just spins thanks to the dead gear. What are you going to do about it? Mike, what are you going to do about
This is
it?
Kodak XL camera, does it say?
70s movie camera. Yeah, it's a electric 8 camera. I don't know what that is. Mark, look it up.
Well, if it's a Kodak XL camera, Owen
It must be because he's referencing the Kodak movie cameras. from
Owen
the
says
60s.
it's like the best camera ever made for Super 8, but
Yeah, I
all
remember
of
him
them
talking about
have a
it.
faulty gear, which just like disintegrates. So we're talking about
3D printer.
finding that gear, printing it. Yep.
What's the greatest 8 millimeter camera ever made? Did like Panavision make an 8 millimeter camera?
Oh,
Was there
I'm
like
not.
a-
You know what? I'm not qualified to answer
I
that
wonder.
You have
question.
to ask Owen.
Owen.
Well, everyone's going to have their own opinion.
Well,
Where's my
is that true, or is there one that's like, oh my god, the
Well-
greatest 8 millimeter ever made?
I'm sure. Look, there's definitely a greatest 8 millimeter ever made. I'm guessing it has to do with the lens, but
Yeah.
in my little world,
I'm just curious.
me.
It's not going to be a Revere or a Pan. Or
This
a,
is mine right now. I haven't tested. Look, this is a Sheikah.
It's not going to be a Keystone.
No, but it might be a Sheikah. Look at that.
That is cool looking.
Yeah, this is a beautiful little camera.
It looks like a garden shed on the side. That's
it
nice.
does. Everyone's quiet doing their own thing on their phone. So this is a great
Oh,
time
I
for me
wasn't
to.
doing anything.
So I'm going to
Sorry.
kick in here really quick with a review because you guys are asking about regular 8. And I think I'd like to tell Mark Dalzell about regular 8 because maybe he doesn't know these things. So I have in my hand a Revere 8 Model 80, my current favorite regular 8 millimeter camera. So it's a square camera. It literally is. I mean, this is a cube, right?
Yeah.
It's a square camera.
Well, it's rectangular.
It's weighty. It's small. What would you say this is? What would you compare this to for people at home?
The size?
Yeah.
It's like it looks like a thick paperback book. It's like the size
Yeah,
of
that's
a...
pretty good. That's well put.
Yeah.
Well
like
played.
a Stephen King, one of those big ones.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
like, yeah.
Once you load one, they're all very similar, and they all have very, very similar features. So on the one side of this camera is the little door that opens, and I'm going to be posting a video about this camera. I went to the Baltimore Zoo and shot with this camera. It is so fun going to the zoo. Those animals, they're so cute. Especially the goats.
Goats.
Goats at the zoo? Are you sure you were at the zoo?
And there were lions, right?
Oh,
That was the petting zoo.
Were they in the same pen?
No. There were lions, and you could tell like they were older lions. Let's put it this way. The lions from the new Lion King look more liony than these lions.
Oh, that's
They look
Like, because
sad.
they're sad and beat up.
No, they look like old. They look like senior citizen lions.
Defanged.
Yeah, no, I don't know if they're defanged. So I missed the shot. I approached the thing, and the male lion, he got up and he was like, "Roar!"
Eating
And I'm like,
a goat.
I missed it.
Why?
I wasn't rolling.
Did you pee your pants? Did you get all scared and drop your camera? What happened?
Anyhow, so on one side of the camera where the door is, it says Revere 8
You should
model.
just take the 8mm to Lion King and just shoot the screen. It'd look great.
with the 500T.
Exactly.
Revere 8 Model 80. On the side, most of these cameras on the side or the top somewhere, it has like a easy, like you notice that it has like the easy
Yeah.
chart
Yes.
of what what to set your f-stop
If
at.
it's sunny, do this.
Yeah, on the front of the camera, these are what's called D-mount lenses, and they're just like little lenses that just literally just screw on and screw off. Now, folks of the modern age may say, "Oh, that's like a CCTV lens," and if you look on eBay. Some modern CCTV lenses are D-mount lenses.
Is that right?
That is right. So these lenses, many of them are fixed focus, but they have f-stops, and most of them are from like, you can get like, this one isn't, but you can get like f1.9 or f1.4.
Really? I've never seen them that wide.
Or all the way up to f22. So this easy guide on the side, you need to just ignore, as we were discussing earlier, films of old, the ISOs were so low that this chart is meaningless.
Yeah.
Once you find out the ISO of your film, you will need to have a light meter app on your phone or a handheld light meter or a Black Cat exposure guide. That's that paper thing. You remember that, John?
No.
Black Cat exposure guide?
Nope.
It folds out. You could like dial in your exposure.
Oh, really?
You don't remember?
No.
Okay, that's okay.
I never got that advanced.
So you open the door, and inside there is a spool, an empty spool, and the area where you load your fresh film, which is 25 feet, 16 millimeter in width. It's not standard 16 millimeter film. It's perfed differently. It's perfed for regular 8. You load your film through the gate, leave the proper loop you'll see in the video. As a matter of fact, in our show notes for this show,
What show?
the show notes, I'll put the video how to load this camera.
We did that, right?
Yes, we did.
We did this camera.
Yes, we did this camera. So you load your film, shoot it, load it, shoot it, flip it, load it,
Load it.
Shoot it. Shoot it.
No, load it, shoot it, flip
Flip
it.
it. Load it.
Shoot it.
Yes, shoot it.
Smack it up. Rub it down.
Right.
Whoa.
Send it. Process it. Slit it.
Cherish it.
Mail it. Project it.
There you go.
So you load your film, you shoot it, and then when it's done, you will flip it over and shoot the other side, believe it or not. And then that 25 feet of film is sent to the lab, slit, processed, slit, and then you get back 50 feet of regular 8mm film.
50 feet.
If you dig through your
Do they stick them together, or you get two reels?
No, they stick them together.
Yeah, okay.
If you go through your grandpappy's things,
You'll find them.
if you go to grandfather or grandmother's house, or ask your mom, "Hey,
It's all snuff films.
where's grandpop's stuff?" You have these.
I have tons. I have boxes
Say.
full of 8 and 16
Your
millimeter.
grandfather's movies are in evidence.
Guarantee you. Do you have his camera? Do you own his camera?
No, honestly, my grandparents did not have any movie cameras. I have a bunch of my in-laws. My father-in-law was a gigantic 8 and 16 millimeter shooter, and I have boxes and boxes.
Where's his camera?
The camera, I believe, is gone, but I
Okay.
have all the films.
On the front of the camera is a lens, which I just mentioned, screws on.
Duh.
There's the eyepiece on the back.
Duh.
The eyepiece does not look through the lens.
Right.
So
Like a rangefinder.
Yeah. So if you go out, do not keep a lens cap on your camera or else you'll shoot nothing.
Like a rangefinder.
What I love about this camera, and what I think John will love about this camera, because he's going to be shooting with it, where?
Yes.
Virginia?
Virginia.
So you look through the eyepiece, it's not looking through the lens, but you can change your lens. The standard lens for an 8mm camera is 13mm. On the top is a slider. So when you're looking through the eyepiece, you set it to 13. But this is where I was amazed. I'm like, oh my God, I could buy more lenses. I could buy a wider lens, a 9mm lens, because there's a slide, goes to 9.
Yeah.
I can get a telephoto lens, 25 or 38mm. It's great.
Yeah, that sounds great.
Yeah, no, really. And then on the other side of the camera, you have your shutter button. You have a switch that you switch of how many frames per second. The standard was 16 frames per second. And at 16 frames per second, you're shooting at 1/30th of a second. That's your formula for your light meter. 1/30th of a second. The ISO of the film.
16 frames per second is 1/30th of a second?
Yep.
Okay.
1/30th of a second. The ISO of the film. The new FPP film is ISO 50. And that will give you, your light meter will give you your f-stop to set. Mostly designed to shoot outdoor, but you can buy these days like a modern light panel.
Wait! I just had a crazy epiphany.
Oh.
Your frame rate will affect your exposure
Yes.
on a video camera. Oh my God.
Yes, that's correct.
I literally just had like a major epiphany.
That is correct.
So the slower your frame rate, the darker you can shoot at.
That's correct.
Oh my God. Okay, sorry, go ahead.
So
gotta live
that's
with
a good
that now.
point. So let's say you're feeling I don't know, you're feeling bold, and you're like, you know what? I want to shoot 24 frames per second.
Yeah.
Some cameras don't. This particular camera, you can switch it to 24. When you switch it to 24, your shutter speed's going to change.
To what?
Faster.
Don't you remember?
No.
Don't you
Come on,
remember
John.
Professor Tarbox on the Sekonic?
I hated her.
There was no setting for that, so she's like just under the 0 of the 60, like just before 60. So it's a problem.
Just under the 0 of the 60. It sounds like some kind of Scientology thing. Oh, we're going to get flagged.
1/50th of a second. And
Right.
or around 1/50th second.
Okay.
So that gives you a whole...
I did
It's like a
not know that.
stop slower.
Pretty much. Might be
That's...
Wow.
Oh my God, I'm seriously blowing my mind.
It might be 1/58th of a second because it was so near 160. Because I get these questions all the time, and I have to tell you, folks, I was doing I was keyboarding. I'm like, oh, what is the shutter speed on these things?
He was hacking the Matrix.
Yeah, thank goodness there's information on there. On the same side panel is the what do you call this?
Crank.
Crank.
CR Ank.
The key.
Now,
The skate key.
some people say just crank it till you don't crank anymore, but I get nervous.
You do.
I crank it to 10 or 11.
Crank it till you brank it.
It's a crank on the side. You crank it. On the bottom, I have a cheat sheet to remind me that it's 13mm. I looked this camera up. It's 1956.
Half an inch would be 12 millimeters.
Yep.
Okay, just saying.
Model number, and there's a number. This is number 15775. Oh, no number on yours?
I don't think so. Maybe on the inside.
Oh, I have to tell you. I have a Yashica 8mm. I'm going to talk about it on a different show.
What show?
The number on this, what is that? That's in the millions, right? Look at
Oh,
the
yeah.
number.
This one is 126,986.
What is the number on there?
They can't sequentially have numbered them. The serial number is 38 million.
Oh, is it a so you don't think that number changes every camera that rolls off the assembly line?
No.
You don't think so?
Because this would be the 38,101,000th camera they made. There's no way they made 38 million of this camera.
I don't know. It's pretty
Well, they
popular.
made 126,000 of these.
Like on Gibson guitars, the first and fifth number is the year. So
Okay.
if it was Gibson, no, there's no way they made 38 million of that camera.
I would just like to express to the folks at home that shooting with this camera, now granted, moving pictures is not for everybody. The beautiful thing about this is, this is what I'm shooting all summer. I've been shooting moving pictures, and I've been taking stills from my scan. It is extremely satisfying to shoot with this camera. I got my footage back from the Baltimore Zoo. The
goats look incredible.
I was thrilled by the footage. Look in the show notes. You'll see my review of this, and you'll see scenes from the Baltimore Zoo that I shot with this.
Goats.
podcast@filmphotographyproject.com. If you have any questions about millimeter, it could be questions on 8mm, Super 8,
9mm, 10mm.
There's 9.5 millimeter.
The
perf was in
Don't
the,
even start.
The perf was in the middle of the frame.
That's crazy.
That's French.
I was just going to say it sounds Russian, but yeah,
French.
Of course it was. And the cameras ran on kerosene.
16 millimeter, and I have not shot 35 millimeter.
I was just going to ask you, so as you're fondling your little Reveres, what's with the Bolex sitting right here? What about Bolex?
Oh, the Bolex is going to get love. Oh, well, I'm shooting...
Why aren't you loving the Bolex every day? That thing's incredible. Is this mine?
No, I gave you yours back.
Okay, I'm just checking.
Okay.
Did you bring my F3, by the way?
It's rolling around in the back of my car.
Come on.
Still got the double exposure roll in it.
All right. Well,
I'm using my Bolex to shoot millimeter for that music video.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, I'm using Bolex.
Cool.
The reason I'm looking at these cameras is because the new film that's coming out.
Yeah.
And I really want to see. I mean, I've shot Super 8 my whole life.
Film?
The 500.
The new Cine 8.
Film Photography Project Cine 8 film.
That's right.
Letting you plug it.
Oh, thank you, Mark. I really want to see what these cameras can do. Like, what kind of focus you get on these fixed lenses. And I'll tell you, they're really good.
Yeah.
They're really good.
Satisfying.
So the goal here, the project is for us to make film available at the cheapest price. Currently, like Kodak films, and don't get me wrong, they're great, and they really are great. But
He always tells all the negatives coming when he does that.
But
the 16 millimeters, $50 a roll.
yeah,
The new Ektachrome 16 millimeters, even closer to 60. The Super 8, I want to say the Super 8 is between $30 and $35 a roll.
30, 35, that sounds like a bargain, Mike. Why? How much are these?
These are probably going to be initially priced at $30.
What?
No, for real.
That's even equivalent to the low end of your estimate for Kodak.
Don't hold me to it.
Oh, okay.
And we're going to be releasing a 35 millimeter film for still photography and a 16 millimeter stock. Here's a letter while we're still on the subject.
Hi, Mike. Your FPP influence led me to buy a Lomo 8 16 35 millimeter film developing tank.
Yes. Amazing.
There we go. I was just talking about it. From the Ukraine.
Of course.
Or from Ukraine, I guess it's called. So now I am working out what film stock to go for. I am in Europe, so FOMA is very reasonably priced, and I like the idea of shooting black and white reversal so I can edit and project traditionally and save on scanning. Do you have experience of double Super 8
cameras?
Oh, my God.
I want to go
Don't even say
16 millimeter eventually, but feel this may be the most cost-effective starting point. Thanks in advance. I am a huge fan of the show. Cheers, Ben, or as he prefers to be called, Burt Reynolds.
Burt Reynolds.
Anybody named Ben?
Bendy Banana. Bendy Banana.
Double Super 8 didn't really make it over here to the
What
States.
is that? How is that possible? It's
Yeah,
the
it
same
sounds crazy,
concept.
right? I think that maybe Kodak over here was like, let's stop.
Is that
They're
like double secret
listen,
probation?
like we got Super, double Super 8.
Then, as of this moment, they're on double secret probation.
It's crazy.
Double Super 8 didn't make it
Quadruple
over here.
4? What?
In a big way.
Every Halloween, the trees are filled with underwear. Every spring, the toilets explode.
Time to wake this show up.
Double Super 8, I think it's a European thing.
It must be. Have you ever seen any cameras?
Owen has.
Oh, of course.
Yes.
Owen.
He may own one. Owen may own one. Owen one. What? FOMA, they're in Czech Republic.
Right.
Is it still called Czech Republic?
Now it's called Czech. Czech. Is that just called
It's just called Czechoslovakia. FOMA makes a black and white film, as Ben is using it.
Okay, thank you for
Who's
that.
got a new letter?
Beth Powell. In memory of my father, H. Guy Oliver, who loved and enjoyed photography most of his 94 years on Earth. Okay, from homemade darkrooms in the 40s to the digital age of the 2000s, these cameras were cherished possessions. Enjoy them. Wow.
That's cool, right?
She donated all the cameras from her grandfather's collection, not over his 94 years.
That's cool, right?
That's awesome. Thank you very much, Beth. We'll find good use for them. They will live again in the hands of another. Thank you, Beth.
This is from Etwan Crawford. Flickr name Crossroads63. Hi, gang. I've been listening since the beginning and continue to love the show. Me, I've been shooting film since the 60s. And besides a brief year trying digital, we all experimented.
Yes.
I always have and continue to. I think back on episode 223.
223.
Mark O'Brien mentioned how he has a hard time with Instagram and posting his film images.
I thought you were going to say Mark mentioned how he had a hernia. I don't know why.
Why?
He said, and I thought hernia.
Hard time. Well, I use an app from the App Store on my computer called Grids, which allows me to easily upload my film images and to select the aspect ratios.
Really?
What a pain in the ass dragging your aspect ratio on Instagram to get it just the way you want it cropped. I always find that annoying.
Okay.
Sorry, maybe it's just me.
Who's working up there?
I shoot mostly 6x7, 4x5, and 35mm.
Sorry.
So this works very well. You can also use it to view everything on Instagram like any other device. There may be other apps out there, but this type of app helped me to start posting on Instagram. Hopefully this is helpful. And hello to the rest of the gang. Keep up the good work. Etwan, you're welcome.
Is that helpful to you, that app, knowing that app exists?
I have to remind Mark O'Brien, I find it easiest because I still post to Flickr.
Flickr?
Right from Flickr. You go to share.
Right from?
And you go right to your feed.
Oh, I see.
Oh.
So if all my information is in Flickr...
It'll transfer all your data over.
No, it doesn't. I have to cut and paste the data, no problem.
Okay.
But then I hit share, feed, and it goes right to Instagram. Beautiful. Easy peasy.
That's awful nice of Flickr.
I got a letter.
I have a letter.
Okay.
So
those guys walking to a bar. Ouch, ouch.
$1.69.
This is from Sarah. It says, I noticed in the newsletter today a list of precautions to take to avoid piping was provided. What's the piping deal? You want to talk about piping?
Some of our Sphema films are very thin.
Yeah.
So they're so thin. Leslie did an extensive test. Were you here for that test?
No.
If you have a roll of film in one of those cans, you know, the milky ones?
Yeah.
And they're just sitting on your counter, kitchen counter.
Oh, yeah, forget it.
Cans.
The light will pipe in through the little, and then...
It'll...
Do you have a roll of film?
It'll...
No.
How do we not have a roll of film on the table?
The light will what?
It'll pipe.
Yeah.
The film is so thin that light can creep in that little crack.
Yeah.
So your first few inches...
It's happening to that film every day that I don't send to the
there's
lab.
film in here. Yeah.
Yes.
Oh,
So
there's
right
nothing
now,
left on that film.
Light is creeping in this crack and wrecking your first few films. And if you leave it long enough, like if you just leave it sitting on this table for 6 months,
Really?
it'll wreck your first five your first 5 shots.
Okay. I, like many, am a film hoarder. Every time you have a sale, I have some extra cash, I buy film. It goes from the shipping package directly into a Ziploc bag into my dedicated freezer. I only open this freezer to put film in or pull it out. I noticed that you recommend storing film in a light-safe bag while in the fridge or freezer as well. My question is,
Yes.
how likely is piping in this scenario?
Very high.
Very high.
If it's not in a black bag or in a black canister, every time you open the freezer and that light goes on,
Yeah.
think about it. You go in there and get your ice cream. You go in there and get some ice.
No, she's saying it's dedicated. She only uses it to open and close, to put in
I would
and
say
pull
not.
out.
I would say not like. So the trouble that Leslie was having was she left the roll of film like on her kitchen counter for weeks as a test. So it's exposed to, whatever, 16 hours of daylight a day. And after a few weeks, there was noticeable
piping.
light piping. If you have it in your freezer, I mean, my freezer doesn't have a light in it. But yeah, I mean, if it's being flashed for a couple of seconds, every couple of days, whatever, I'm sure it's mostly fine. But
Piping.
so
Who
just,
knew?
it's like X-rays. It's like one of those things you don't really need to worry about it. It's just one of those, if your film is going to be sitting in a freezer for 8 years, like mine does,
Especially on a Sphema film.
That's right.
That's a real possibility.
just use black canisters and you're fine.
Yep.
Well, there you go, Sarah.
This letter is from Tom Heckhouse. It's pronounced Heckhouse. Hi, Mike and FPP staff.
Hi.
We're the staff.
Harumph.
Polaroid has been discussed many times over the podcast years.
Many times.
How about a podcast segment with up-to-date information on which Polaroid cameras have current new film available and which cameras are shelf cameras or boat anchors? I've got a few pack film cameras, and I know that film project may not come to fruition. I, for one, will not pay upwards of $10 a print. Thanks as always. Great June 1st podcast. Was I on the June 1st podcast?
Probably.
Probably
Yeah, that was a good
not.
one. That was a good
Probably
one.
not. That's why it was
Clearly
Now,
not.
maybe these gents could talk about it, and I know people don't understand.
Did you just split a coffee crisp in half? Oh, thank you.
Careful of shards.
No, it's coffee crisp. They don't shard.
That Polaroid was my project back in 2012, 12. Like, I move on to different projects, personally.
No, you do.
Of course, I will revisit. Like, I supported the Save Pack film, Doc Fluorine Caps. Like, I'm in on that. I still have my Pack camera. But I haven't...
You haven't shot it in a while.
haven't shot in a while. So, the new Polaroid Originals, they came out with their new Polaroid One Step. Comes in the white One Step
and the One Step 2.
Yeah, the One Step 2. They upgraded it recently. They have a new model out last year, 6 months.
One Step 2.
One Step 2. And I just encourage folks to go to Polaroid Originals. Just Google it and go right to their website. And they're selling the film. They're selling the cameras.
How much is a pack of Polaroid film?
Price went down, which is amazing.
Really?
Yeah. Remember it was like $25 a pack for the integral film?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
18 or 19 bucks now.
And you can get it at Target, Walmart, like everywhere. I mean, everyone sells it. So anything that's the old cameras, the SX70s or the old 600s or the new One Step, it's easy to get the film. It's cheap. It's not great.
What size film does the One Step take?
Well, the new One Step takes 600 film.
Oh.
I know everyone is still talking about the Pack cameras, and I understand why. They're just so
good.
Cool. Yeah, they're just...
Especially the black and white.
They're cool. They're beautiful. They work far, in my opinion, far better than the One Steps.
Yeah.
It's a better picture.
But you are up to almost $10 a shot at the moment.
Current price for film is $45 to $50 for a pack of 10.
For color.
Color.
Yeah, black and white's even more, though.
Yeah.
And I only shoot black and white.
You're hoarding it.
I do. I have a lot of it.
How many packs you got?
You got cases?
20.
You got a case?
20, 25 left.
Okay.
I still have some old chocolate. I have Polaroid chocolate.
Oh, my God. You
Yeah.
can get $100 for that.
I know.
Holy smokes.
Yeah, it's good stuff.
I don't really think, folks, I don't think about it. I don't think I've moved on. I'm shooting new stuff. I'm doing different things.
You're all about millimeter now.
It's gone. I'm very sad that it's gone because I used to... come to the studio. We have hundreds of pack film images taped up to the walls. Our band rehearsals. We would go to band and shoot 100 shots in a night. Like
Well,
we used to be
100,
crazy.
but
It was
90.
$7 a pack.
Yeah, when it was $7.99 a pack, we would shoot tons and tons of it and just screw around. Put it in the passport cameras.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
I have my Polaroid dental camera. Like we would just shoot stupid things, and now it's like,
It's not fun.
Am I at a wedding? Like, no, I'm not wasting a shot on taking a picture of Joseph, puking on the floor. Like, no. Anyway, so it's sad. So all the pack. So to answer his question, any of the integral cameras you can get film for. It's relatively cheap. Mm-hmm. The image is fine. The pack film cameras, they were the best ones. The film is really expensive, and it's probably not going to ever really come back. The ones that you want to avoid is the roll film cameras. They haven't made film for that since the 80s, and anything you ever find is not going to work. So don't even try.
You want to avoid
the swinger, all that stuff.
Avoid that. Avoid Polaroid 500 cameras. The Captiva.
Mm-hmm.
The Spectra. Was it the Spectra?
Spectra's, no, film is available
They
for
still
Spectra.
make Spectra
Yes.
film? Oh, my God.
Yes. It comes and goes, but it's still supported.
Wow.
What other letters do we have? Do you want to vet them?
I got one from Jenny Fiore. How do you say that?
Foray? I would say foray.
Sorry,
Jenny.
Jenny. Hi, all. I was just sitting in my car loading a Brownie Hawkeye when I wondered what the f-stop of the camera was. I quickly did the classic, pull out the phone and consult the internet. Your page was one of the first I stumbled on.
Oh, nice.
I got the info I needed and went back to my day. Now, hours later, I am back on your website exploring the ins and outs of growing more and more excited you all exist and are doing this. Thank you. I am an MA-based photographer. What is that?
Massachusetts.
Content creator and film collector. I just wanted to say hello.
There's
and
so
say
many M states. I don't know them all.
Maine is M-E.
Excuse
I don't
me?
know.
Reading a letter here? Excuse me.
Minnesota ends with A.
No, Minnesota is M-I.
M-T.
And Michigan.
What's Minnesota? M-I-N-N.
Oh, M-N, M-N.
Oh, that's Montana.
M-T, Montana.
You see what I mean?
I know. It's
Montana
confusing.
also ends with an A.
Okay, I just wanted to say
I'm
hello
Canadian.
and say how much it means to me you guys exist. And I look forward to following along and potentially getting to talk camera someday. Also, what's up, New Jersey? I see you down there with your delicious bagels. Our bagels are delicious, aren't they? Says, hey, Mike! Exclamation point. I was just reading the newsletter and I thought I would share my experiences using sprocket-less film.
Oh, interesting.
Okay. I have somewhat successfully used a Nikon F100 for sprocket-less film. I just loaded it into the cassette like normal, but then taped on the sprocketed leader.
What's F100?
Oh, look at that.
Oh, so sprocketless film, it's literally film without a sprocket.
Yeah.
And some cameras, like
Why would you do this? Have no sprockets.
a Canon 10S, some cameras can take sprocketless film, but what she is doing, she's taping, the...
Well, this is Odin.
Oh,
I think that's a guy.
It's not Jenny?
No, that was the last one.
When you first get... It's so funny.
Jenny. That's how he said
Forrest Gump says.
Jenny.
It's like, it's not Jenny.
Okay.
You know how you get a...
You're doing Cartman.
You know how you get a new roll of film and it has like the tongue.
Yeah.
I know.
You cut that and you tape that to the sprocketless film so that you could easily get it going
Get it started.
Get it started. Brilliant.
Yeah, it's a good idea.
I never thought about that. You have any sprocketless film in your fridge, Marco Dalzell?
Yeah, 120.
Okay.
Said, I did not have any problems with the operation of the camera, but I think because of the lack of sprockets, there ends up being about 3/8 of an inch between frames. So on a strip of film that might normally have 6 images, I got 5. Of course, the frames are masked, so you get the same size image using regular film.
That's
I've also
I wonder if the camera is like looking for the sprockets and it gives itself a little extra space just to make sure that it cleared, minded the gap.
Yeah, it's AI in the F100. I've also had good luck with my Pentax 67. I used 2 sets of 35 to 120 film cassette adapters that I 3D printed and use a cassette as a take-up spool.
It's all the rage now, the 3D thing.
Those kids. Back in my day, 2D was good enough. You guys had 1D.
Yeah, the FPP, we introduced the Kodak microfilm, sprocketless.
Mm-hmm.
It's red. The film is red.
That's crazy.
The film is archival. Guaranteed lasts 100 years.
I got 1,000 feet of it in my freezer.
Do you really?
No, I'm just...
Probably.
It's like a low ISO film, but it produces very brilliant black and white images.
Cool.
So we're going to head over to the Empress Diner in Fair Lawn, New Jersey.
Join us.
Yeah, I'm probably going to get a grilled cheese with
tomato.
Grilled tomato.
Grilled tomato.
Grilled cheese, grilled tomato, and onion.
Oh.
And fries on the
That's
side.
interesting. I may jump on that.
It's really delicious. Would you like me to shoot? Should I shoot some millimeter at the diner? That'd be fun.
Yeah, shoot millimeter at the diner.
Totally.
Which one?
I think I'm going to shoot.
You got a roll of 500?
Which millimeter?
No, I'm going to shoot a roll.
7.5.
I'm going to shoot a roll of super millimeter 500T at the diner.
Okay.
That'd be good.
Super 8. Super 88 bonus.
I'll take my Agfa family camera. It's a point and shoot. It's a point and shoot Super 8. I love it. If you shoot Super 8, Agfa family. They were not that popular here in the U.S., mostly over in the UK and the EU.
All right.
Podcast at filmphotographyproject.com.
Angry letters.
EU.
Analog Wonderland. It's really quick.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of
No,
UK.
Jesus, we're still doing this?
Paul McKay over in the UK. Not the EU, the UK.
Is this a 2-part episode? Have we rolled over into the second day now?
This is
I want to let you know, film photography.
This is the hidden track.
FPP film
The runoff.
is now available in the
Runout.
Right.
now available in the UK and the EU.
Whose store is it in?
Analog Wonderland.
Yes.
Analog spelled the European way.
With
Analog
the
way.
O-U-E
Yeah.
at the end?
Yep.
Low.
Third
Wow.
batch on the way over to the UK right now.
Wow.
Analog Wonderland. And it's going so well. It's going so well.
He's going to have us out.
Ordered a 4th batch.
He's now doing it full time.
Selling FPP film?
Selling film.
Oh.
Oh.
Sells
that.
FPP film, Kodak film, Fuji film,
He's the go-to guy.
Cosmo Photo.
Is he in the London town?
In that area, yeah.
Okay. Disco Friday.
All right, this might be the last episode this summer.
Yeah, that's what you said last time.
I don't know when we're coming back.
You said last summer.
I don't know when we're coming back. We'll be back in the fall, and I'm told that the Sawtooth School or Academy, whatever they're called, down in Winston-Salem, North Carolina, is asking for the FPP to come down and have an event.
Wow.
Oh.
Joseph Brun just texted me today. He said, Sawtooth said, what do we have to do to get the FPP in here?
I'll get my writer together.
Room with the jacuzzi.
You hear the new hit, the new FPP hit, Cheap Burgers. You hear that song?
No.
Oh,
All right.
yes. All right. We'll see you guys.
See you in 2 months.
a burger. I like it really cheap. Bread is almost plastic. The patty's barely meats. Cheap burgers are the greatest. They really are a treat. It shouldn't be organic. Must be engineered. Assembled in a factory 1,000 miles from here. And flown across the ocean above the troposphere. Yeah. Cheap burgers, 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 cheap burgers. Give me all you got, give me everything on top. I'm getting deep, I need cheap burgers. Than 3 inches. Well, you gotta get it right. And no bigger than a handful. Well, no bigger than a bite. Yeah. Cheap burgers, 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 cheap burgers. Give me all you got, stick a pickle on the top. I'm getting deep, does I need cheap burgers? Cheap burgers, 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 burgers, burgers going cheap, 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 cheap burgers. Come and get 'em.